Welcome back to our podcast where the stories behind the screen are told with all the respect and nostalgia they deserve. In 1993, the film Jurassic Park was released and created a global phenomenon, forever changing the history of cinema. With its story of an amusement park where dinosaurs are resurrected from ancient DNA, the work was not only a massive commercial success, but also became an unforgettable part of an entire generation's memory, redefining the science fiction adventure genre. But behind the classic characters and the astonishing prehistoric creatures were actors with their own unique destinies. More than 30 years have passed, and time has etched different marks on their lives. Some continued to shine brightly, some chose a quieter path, and some had to end their journeys in tragedy. Let's look back at the tumultuous journey of the cast who gave the Jurassic Park film series its soul. Richard Attenborough as John Hammond. In Jurassic Park, the character John Hammond is the dream weaver, the billionaire with the bold vision to resurrect dinosaurs, with his radiant smile and the immortal line, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." John Hammond left an indelible impression. Richard Attenborough's performance at the time, at the age of 70, brilliantly portrayed a man who was both lovable and ambitious, whose grand dream ultimately spun out of his control. After the success of Jurassic Park, Richard Attenborough's illustrious career continued to be celebrated, but he also faced devastating personal tragedies. Born on August 29, 1923 in England, he was not only a talented actor but also an Oscar-winning director for the film Gandhi. His life seemed complete alongside his wife, actress Sheila Sim, in a marriage that lasted nearly 70 years. However, tragedy struck in 2004 when his daughter Jane Holland and his granddaughter Lucy were among the thousands of victims killed in the Indian Ocean tsunami. The inconsolable grief took a toll on his health. A few years later, a severe stroke confined him to a wheelchair and led him to gradually withdraw from artistic activities. What is most profound is the connection between the role and his life. On screen, John Hammond was a man who created life but ultimately had to witness his creation bring tragedy. In real life, Richard Attenborough, a man who dedicated his life to creating timeless works of art, eventually had to face the tragedy of losing his most beloved family members. Hammond's shattered dream on screen seemed to echo the actor's real-life pain. However, that journey of glory and great suffering had to come to an end. On August 24, 2014, just days before his 91st birthday, Richard Attenborough passed away at the age of 90 from heart failure following complications from his stroke. His passing left a huge void in the film world. The legacy he left behind is not just his roles, but a profound life story about creation, love, and loss. Bob Peck as Robert Muldoon. In Jurassic Park, the character Robert Muldoon is the park's game warden, a skilled and experienced hunter. With his wide-brimmed hat and sharp gaze, Muldoon left an unforgettable impression. Bob Peck's performance at the time, at the age of 48, authentically portrayed a man who respected the power of nature and was one of the few who recognized the true danger of the velociraptors. His final line, "Clever girl," has become one of the most classic moments in the film. Before facing dinosaurs on screen, Bob Peck was a highly regarded Shakespearean stage actor. Born on August 23, 1945 in England, he had an illustrious career on stage and television, winning a prestigious BAFTA award. He lived a happy family life with his wife, actress Jill Baker, and their 3 children. Despite being a respected actor, he always maintained a private and humble life. What is most profound is the complete contrast with his fate. On screen, Robert Muldoon was a man always aware of danger and trying to control it. Real-life Bob Peck had to face an invisible and far more ruthless enemy that he could not control. The hunter on screen who understood the laws of survival ultimately could not win his own battle for survival. However, that promising journey was cut tragically short. In the late 90s, he was diagnosed with cancer on April 4, 1999. Bob Peck passed away at the age of 53. His sudden passing was a great loss for British cinema. His legacy is not just an iconic role, but a dedicated artistic career. Pete Postlethwaite as Roland Tembo. In the Lost World Jurassic Park, the character Roland Tembo is a great hunter who comes to the dinosaur island not for money, but for the ultimate challenge. With his angular face and righteous gaze, Roland Tembo left a deep impression. Pete Postlethwaite's performance at the time, at the age of 51, brought a principled and profound villain to life, a formidable adversary. In real life, Pete Postlethwaite was one of the greatest character actors of his generation, once called the best actor in the world by director Steven Spielberg. Born on February 7, 1946 in England, he had a respectable career with Oscar-nominated roles. He lived a happy family life with his wife and 2 children. However, behind his extraordinary talent was a relentless battle with illness. He was diagnosed with testicular cancer and later pancreatic cancer, yet he never gave up. Even in his final years, he continued to work, demonstrating an extraordinary will and an undying love for his art. What is most profound is the parallel between the role and his life on screen. Roland Tembo was a man in search of the greatest challenge in real life. Pete Postlethwaite also had to face the greatest challenge of his life, his battle with cancer. Tembo's determination and refusal to back down on screen seemed to reflect the actor's own extraordinary resilience. However, that resilient journey had to come to an end. On January 2, 2011, Pete Postlethwaite passed away at the age of 64. His passing left a huge void in the film industry. His legacy is his brilliant performances and the image of an artist who fought until his last breath. Sarah Danielle Madison as Cheryl in Jurassic Park 3. Sarah Danielle Madison played Cheryl, a young, intelligent, and optimistic college student. Although only a minor role, her appearance brought a positive energy, a bright moment amidst the tense and dangerous atmosphere of the film. In real life, Sarah Danielle Madison was a gentle and friendly actress with a warm smile. Born on September 6, 1974, she studied dentistry before pursuing acting. She appeared in many popular television series such as Seventh Heaven and Beverly Hills 90210. She chose not to marry, dedicating all her time and energy to the artistic career she loved. What is most profound is the tragic contrast between the role and her life. On screen, her character brought life and hope. In real life, Sarah had to face a life-and-death battle. In her later years, she had to fight breast cancer. However, that promising journey was cut tragically short. On September 27, 2014, Sarah Danielle Madison passed away at the age of 40. Her sudden passing shocked colleagues and fans. Her legacy is her gentle roles, and the image of her radiant smile on screen will forever remain in the memory of audiences. Julio Oscar Mechoso as Enrique Cardozo in Jurassic Park 3. Julio Oscar Mechoso, then 46, played Enrique Cardozo, a brave boat captain who meets a tragic fate in the fog. His role helped to heighten the film's tension and drama. In real life, Julio Oscar Mechoso was a reliable supporting actor who appeared in numerous films and television shows. Born on May 31, 1955, he had a happy family life with his wife, Nancy, and their 3 children. What is most profound is the complete contrast with his character's fate. On screen, his character meets a sudden and unexpected death. In real life, Julio Oscar Mechoso's own life also ended abruptly. However, that dedicated journey had to come to an end. On November 25, 2017, Julio Oscar Mechoso passed away at the age of 62 from a heart attack. His passing was a loss for his family and for those who admired a hard-working and talented actor. Bruce French as the science reporter. In Jurassic Park, Bruce French played a science reporter during the press conference scene. Although a minor role, his appearance was symbolic, helping to establish the scientific context and authenticity of the story. In real life, Bruce French was a veteran stage and television actor with a career spanning decades. Born on July 4, 1945, with his calm and intelligent demeanor, he often played intellectual characters. He had a happy and strong marriage with actress Eileen Barnett. What is most profound is the parallel between the role and his life. Both on screen and in real life, he was a quiet artist who contributed to the completeness of a larger picture with his professionalism and dedication. However, that quiet journey had to come to an end. On February 7, 2025, Bruce French passed away at the age of 79. His legacy is hundreds of roles, a testament to his quiet dedication and an undying love for his art. Jeffrey C. Brown as the gatekeeper in Jurassic Park. Although he only appeared for a few minutes at the beginning, Jeffrey C. Brown's role as the worker dragged into the velociraptor pen created one of the most terrifying and haunting moments. His horrifying screams signaled to the audience the deadly danger that awaited, setting the tone for the entire film's tension. In real life, Jeffrey C. Brown was a man with a completely different life. Born on January 22, 1945, before turning to acting and stunt work, he was a professional baseball player. He chose a private life, staying away from the spotlight to spend time with his family and personal passions. He is remembered by friends as a simple, warm, and humble man. What is most profound is the complete contrast between the role and his life. On screen, he was the first victim of the chaos, a symbol of human helplessness before nature. In real life, he was a man who actively controlled his life, choosing peace over the chaos of Hollywood. However, that quiet journey had to come to an end. In his final years, he had to battle cancer. On January 11, 2014, Jeffrey C. Brown passed away at the age of 68. Although he was not a major star, his brief role is forever etched in cinema history, a testament that sometimes just a moment can become immortal. Michael Jeter as Udesky. In Jurassic Park 3, Michael Jeter, then 49, played Udesky, a humorous but unlucky mercenary who meets a tragic end at the hands of the velociraptors. His role was a bright spot in the film's tense atmosphere. In real life, Michael Jeter was a talented Tony and Emmy award-winning actor born on August 26, 1952. He was known for his unique physical comedy abilities. After filming, he came out as gay and had a long-term partner. However, he struggled with epilepsy for many years. What is most profound is the complete contrast with his fate. On screen, his character brought laughter, but met a tragic end. In real life, Michael Jeter, who also brought so much laughter to audiences, also had to face an early end. However, that talented journey had to come to an end. On March 30, 2003, Michael Jeter passed away at the age of 50 from complications following a seizure. His passing left a sense of loss for a unique comedic talent. Robin Sachs as Mr. Bowman. In The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Robin Sachs played Mr. Bowman, a wealthy tourist whose daughter is attacked by a dinosaur, kicking off the film's horrifying chain of events. Although he only appeared at the beginning of the film, his role was of particular importance, establishing the potential danger on the island. In real life, Robin Sachs was a versatile actor with an illustrious career. Born on February 5, 1951, into a family with artistic traditions, he appeared in many popular films and television series such as Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Babylon 5. His deep, powerful voice also became a trademark in the Mass Effect video game series. His personal life was quite turbulent, with 3 marriages. What is most profound is the complete contrast with his fate. On screen, his character unwittingly initiated a tragedy. In real life, Robin Sachs' own life ended abruptly and unexpectedly. However, that dedicated journey had to come to an end. On February 1, 2013, just 4 days before his 62nd birthday, Robin Sachs died suddenly of a heart attack. His passing left a deep sense of sorrow. Although he was not a lead actor, he left behind a rich and diverse artistic legacy. Jay Silva as the barge captain. In the Lost World. Jurassic Park. Jay Silva played the barge captain who refuses to enter the dangerous waters near the island. Although he only appeared in one short scene, his hesitation and warnings contributed to the tense atmosphere signaling the dangers to come. In real life, Jay Silva was a diligent supporting actor and stuntman who dedicated his life to the film industry without seeking fame. Born on April 15, 1948. He lived a simple life, spending much of his time with family and friends. He is remembered as a warm and humble man who cherished every role, big or small. What is most profound is the complete contrast with his fate. On screen, he played a man who was well aware of the potential dangers and chose to stay away from them. In real life, he had to face a devastating disease that there was no way to avoid. In his final years, he developed frontotemporal dementia, a disease that directly affects memory and personality. However, that quiet journey also came to an end. Despite struggling with his illness, he remained optimistic with the care of his family. On May 9, 2020, Jay Silva passed away at the age of 72. His legacy is a small but important part of the Jurassic Park universe, proof that even a fleeting role can contribute to the greatness of a classic.